Something feels off, but you can't explain what. A quiet discomfort builds inside, hinting at a deeper problem most men ignore until it's too late. This journey will uncover a hidden threat to your vitality and reveal the natural path to reclaim control. Have you ever noticed something just feels off? Maybe it starts with a subtle discomfort when you sit for long periods or a vague pressure you can't quite describe. Sometimes it's a mild burning during urination or the annoying urge to go to the bathroom a little too frequently. At first, it's easy to dismiss. Maybe it's dehydration, a stressful week, or just getting older. But these seemingly minor signals might be your body whispering a critical warning. Your prostate may be inflamed. Prostatitis is a condition most men don't even know they have until it becomes too uncomfortable to ignore. It creeps in quietly, often without a clear trigger. And unlike more widely discussed health issues, prostatitis isn't talked about enough. That's precisely why it's so dangerous. It thrives in silence. But here's what most people don't realize. Left unaddressed, prostatitis can evolve into a deeper, more persistent problem that affects more than just your comfort. It can impact your energy levels, your confidence, and yes, your intimacy. And while that may sound like an exaggeration, it's not. Countless men across the US are unknowingly living with inflamed prostates, assuming their symptoms are just part of aging. In fact, some even mistake the warning signs for other urinary tract issues and never connect the dots. What makes this particularly concerning is how often prostatitis goes misdiagnosed or treated in ways that only mask the discomfort, instead of resolving the root cause. That's where this journey begins, with awareness. Not panic, not fear, just informed, proactive awareness. Because when you understand what's really going on, you can make choices that restore not only your prostate health, but your overall vitality. So why should you care? Because this condition doesn't just affect urination or pelvic discomfort, it can slowly erode a man's quality of life. From interrupted sleep to chronic fatigue, from diminished libido to feelings of frustration or even shame, prostatitis isn't just a physical condition. It can become an emotional weight too. One of the most surprising things I discovered while researching this topic was just how early symptoms can appear and how often they're ignored. Even in men in their 30s or 40s, prostatitis can manifest without any infection, just inflammation caused by diet, stress, or lifestyle. That's right. What you eat, how you move, or don't move, and how you handle daily stress all contribute. Let's break it down simply. The prostate is a small gland, but it plays a big role. It sits just below the bladder and wraps around the urethra. When it gets inflamed, it presses on those surrounding areas. That's why you may feel that constant urge to urinate, even if you've just gone. That's why intimacy might feel different, or why energy levels suddenly drop without explanation. And in some cases, inflammation can interfere with the natural production of seminal fluid, subtly but significantly affecting reproductive health. The good news is, nature has equipped us with powerful tools to counteract this. I'm talking about natural anti-inflammatory foods, stress reduction techniques, and even small shifts in daily habits that can radically change how your body responds. And yes, there's more. Later in this video, I'll share a bonus tip that combines a little-known ingredient with a preparation method that can maximize your results. But before we get there, it's critical to understand this. When dealing with prostatitis, especially the chronic form, there's no one-size-fits-all solution. It requires a tailored approach. And that's exactly why this information matters so much. One man might need to reduce sugar intake, another might find relief in physical activity, or in adding specific herbs to his daily routine. Now, you may be wondering if it's too late to start. Absolutely not. The body is incredibly resilient. With the right information and consistent action, many men have reversed their symptoms, regained energy, and restored balance, naturally and safely. You just have to be willing to start and stay informed. Throughout this journey, I'll be sharing practical steps and lifestyle adjustments that have made a tangible difference for thousands of people. From dietary tweaks to posture tips, from hydration habits to breathing exercises, small changes that, when combined, can lead to big improvements. No gimmicks, no magic pills, just real, usable knowledge. Because let's face it, we live in a fast-paced world. Convenience often trumps health, and many of us don't have time to sit and research every aspect of our well-being. But by taking a few minutes to really understand what's going on inside your body, you're taking a step many don't, and that makes all the difference. So, take a deep breath. You're not alone in this. Millions of men are navigating this same path, and many have come out stronger, healthier, and more connected to their bodies than ever before. And you can too. The important thing is that you've taken this first step. Now let's build on it. In the next segment, I'll uncover why this condition is so often misunderstood and how that misunderstanding can quietly lead to long-term complications. What you're about to learn could help you or someone you care about make informed choices that prevent unnecessary pain and restore confidence and well-being. And trust me, the next tip might be one of the most crucial of all. Ignoring it won't just slow down your progress. It could actually trigger effects that work against your healing journey. Let's make sure that doesn't happen. It's easy to assume that if something were truly wrong with our bodies, it would announce itself with unmistakable signs. Sharp pain, high fever, or sudden fatigue. Those are the signals we're trained to recognize. But what if the threat is quieter? What if it's more like a whisper than a shout? Prostatitis often speaks in subtle tones, which is precisely why it catches so many men off guard. One of the most misunderstood aspects of prostatitis is how complex and varied its symptoms can be. Some men experience burning during urination. Others feel discomfort in the lower back or groin. Some have trouble starting or stopping urine flow, while others just feel perpetually drained. Because of this diversity of symptoms, prostatitis is frequently mistaken for other conditions, urinary tract infections, muscle strain, or even psychological stress. This confusion leads to misdiagnosis or, worse, no diagnosis at all. And that's where the real danger lies. In the US, it's estimated that up to half of all men will experience symptoms of prostatitis at some point in their lives. That's not a small statistic, but unlike other common health issues, prostatitis doesn't have the same awareness or public dialogue surrounding it. There's a social silence that surrounds male reproductive health, and this lack of conversation can delay action. Men suffer quietly, unsure if their symptoms are worth mentioning, or too embarrassed to seek help. But make no mistake, prostatitis can significantly disrupt your daily life. Beyond the physical discomfort, it creates a ripple effect that can affect sleep quality, focus, emotional balance, and relationships. It's not just about discomfort in the body, it's about how that discomfort can slowly chip away at a person's confidence, their energy, and their ability to fully show up in their own lives. A lesser-known truth is that prostatitis isn't always caused by infection. In fact, in many cases, especially chronic forms, it's not bacterial at all. It's inflammation, often tied to lifestyle factors like diet, prolonged sitting, dehydration, or chronic stress. And here's where things get even more surprising. Sometimes, the root of the issue isn't in the prostate itself, but in surrounding muscles or the pelvic floor. That's why antibiotics, which are often prescribed first, don't always work. They're treating a problem that isn't actually bacterial. This is why many men cycle through treatment after treatment with little to no relief. Not because the condition is untreatable, but because the real cause hasn't been identified. That's why understanding your body and recognizing the signals it gives you is essential. So what should you watch for? More than just pain or urinary issues, keep an eye on subtle patterns. Increased frequency of urination without relief, waking up multiple times at night to urinate, unexplained fatigue, pelvic pressure after long periods of sitting, or even a drop in sexual desire. These aren't random inconveniences. They may be your body trying to get your attention. Addressing prostatitis starts with listening. And when you listen closely, you realize your body is remarkably intuitive. It tries to restore balance on its own, but it needs your cooperation through smarter choices, better habits, and sometimes intervention with natural therapies that support healing rather than just suppressing symptoms. In fact, many men have found relief through adjustments that are entirely within their control. Hydration is one of the simplest yet most overlooked tools. When your body lacks sufficient water, everything slows down, including the elimination of toxins and the regulation of inflammation. Similarly, diet plays a powerful role. Processed foods, excess sugars, and certain additives can irritate the body's internal systems, fueling inflammation quietly but steadily. Contrast that with anti-inflammatory foods like fresh vegetables, omega-3 rich fish, berries, and herbs such as turmeric and ginger. These aren't just trendy health choices. They're powerful allies in your journey toward balance. Even small, consistent improvements in your meals can lead to noticeable changes in how you feel. Posture is another key piece. In today's work culture, where sitting dominates much of the day, pelvic health takes a hit. The pressure and stagnation that build in the pelvic area can contribute to inflammation and pain. Regular movement, standing breaks, or gentle stretches targeted to the hips and lower back can make a surprising difference. There's also the mental and emotional toll to consider. Chronic conditions create a feedback loop of stress which only amplifies inflammation. Practicing mindfulness techniques, deep breathing, meditation, or simply taking moments of quiet throughout your day can help reset the nervous system and lower the internal stress load that contributes to chronic inflammation. And here's a little-known but powerful insight. Not all prostatitis symptoms stem from the prostate alone. Sometimes, tight muscles in the pelvic floor mimic the sensations of inflammation. That's why techniques like pelvic floor physiotherapy or even targeted massage have helped many men experience lasting relief when nothing else worked. The more you understand the roots of your discomfort, the more precise and effective your path to healing becomes. And that's the ultimate goal, not just to mask symptoms, but to rebuild your health from the inside out. In the next part, I'll share a deeper look into natural anti-inflammatory solutions, ones that often go unnoticed but have shown remarkable potential in supporting prostate health. You'll learn not only what they are, but how they work with your body, not against it. And I'll tell you right now, skipping this next piece could not only limit your results, it might actually cause more harm than good if you apply these solutions the wrong way. Let's make sure you get it right. Every day, without realizing it, many of us are feeding a fire we can't see. It doesn't burn our skin or fill the air with smoke, but it smolders deep within the body, especially in places like the prostate. It's called chronic inflammation, and it's quietly fueled by the habits we've normalized, especially in the American lifestyle. We live in a culture that celebrates convenience. Drive-through meals, frozen dinners, desk jobs, and screen time have become staples of daily life. But these conveniences often come with a price. Long hours of sitting, low-nutrient foods, and relentless mental stress, all of which contribute to systemic inflammation. And if there's one place that inflammation loves to settle in men, it's the prostate. Let's start with food. It's no secret that the standard American diet, rich in refined carbs, sugary drinks, fried snacks, and processed meats, can be harmful. But what's often overlooked is how directly these foods affect prostate health. High sugar intake spikes insulin levels, creating an inflammatory cascade. Processed oils used in fast food, especially those high in omega-6 fatty acids, further inflame tissue. Over time, this low-grade inflammation can become chronic, laying the foundation for conditions like prostatitis. Interestingly, studies have shown that men who consume high amounts of red and processed meat, along with low-fiber intake, have higher markers of inflammation. And when you pair this with low water consumption and high caffeine or alcohol intake, it becomes a perfect storm. Your body's natural detoxification slows down, blood flow is impaired, and tissues, like those in the prostate, become more vulnerable to irritation. But food is just the beginning. Our daily routines are just as influential. Picture this. The average office worker spends nearly 10 hours a day seated. That means the pelvic region, where the prostate resides, is under continuous pressure. Blood flow becomes restricted, muscles stiffen, and tension builds up in the pelvic floor. For someone already dealing with mild inflammation, this lack of movement acts like gasoline on a fire. Add chronic stress to the equation, and the situation worsens. Stress hormones like cortisol are known to elevate inflammation levels throughout the body. Prolonged stress also disrupts hormonal balance, which can interfere with immune response and tissue healing. It's no wonder many men report a flare-up of symptoms during high-pressure times at work or during personal struggles. So what does this all mean? It means that prostatitis isn't just about the prostate, it's about the whole system. It's the food you eat, the hours you sit, the tension you carry, and the rest you skip. And while that may sound overwhelming, it actually opens up a world of possibilities. Because if your habits contribute to the problem, then better habits can contribute to the solution. Let's talk about those solutions. First, hydration is non-negotiable. Water helps flush toxins, supports circulation, and keeps tissues hydrated and less prone to irritation. If you're drinking soda, energy drinks, or excessive coffee, replacing even one of those with a glass of water each day can make a difference. Next, reconsider what's on your plate. Incorporate more vegetables, especially leafy greens like spinach, kale, and arugula. These are rich in antioxidants and fiber, which help reduce inflammation and support gut health, a key player in regulating systemic inflammation. Include healthy fats like olive oil, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish like salmon. These are high in omega-3s, known for their anti-inflammatory properties. Physical movement is equally critical. You don't have to become a gym fanatic, but regular low-impact activity like walking, yoga, or light stretching throughout the day can enhance blood flow to the pelvic region and reduce tension. Even 5-minute movement breaks every hour during your workday can drastically improve circulation. Don't overlook rest. Sleep is when the body repairs itself. Poor sleep leads to increased inflammation and higher sensitivity to pain. Aim for at least 7 hours of quality sleep each night. Try going to bed and waking up at consistent times, reducing screen exposure before bed, and creating a calm, dark sleep environment. And here's something you might not expect. How you breathe matters. Shallow chest breathing, common in stressed individuals, can keep your nervous system in a state of low-grade tension. Deep belly breathing activates the parasympathetic system, your body's natural rest and repair mode, which helps reduce inflammation and improve circulation to your internal organs. One of the most empowering things about understanding the role of lifestyle in prostatitis is realizing that healing is not about dramatic change. It's about daily, sustainable steps. Each glass of water, each walk around the block, each serving of greens, these are votes for your health. They accumulate. And over time, they can shift your body from a state of chronic irritation to one of resilience and recovery. I've spoken to men who were skeptical at first. Men who thought their only options were medications or just living with it. But when they committed to even a few of these simple changes, many saw improvements they didn't think were possible. Better sleep, reduced urgency, less discomfort, and renewed confidence. Remember, your body is constantly trying to heal. It's not working against you. It's doing its best with the tools you give it. So give it what it needs: hydration, movement, nourishment, and rest. And you may be surprised at how capable it is of finding balance again. Up ahead, we'll dive into natural anti-inflammatory plants and herbs that have been used for centuries in traditional practices and are now supported by modern research. These ingredients hold unique benefits for prostate support, but only when used correctly. The next tip is one of the most important you'll hear, and skipping it could not only minimize your progress, but might actually lead to setbacks if applied incorrectly. Let's make sure you use it the right way. For centuries, long before modern medicine developed pills and lab tests, nature was the pharmacy. And in many parts of the world, it still is. While the West has only recently begun to rediscover the healing potential of plants, many cultures have relied on natural remedies to treat inflammation, balance hormones, and support prostate health for generations. The beauty of these natural solutions isn't just in their origins, it's in how they work in harmony with the body, not against it. One of the standout plants in this realm is saw palmetto. Found predominantly in the southeastern United States, this small palm tree produces berries that have been traditionally used to support urinary health and reduce inflammation in the prostate. What makes saw palmetto particularly effective is its ability to inhibit the conversion of testosterone into dihydrotestosterone, DHT, a hormone linked to prostate enlargement and irritation. Unlike pharmaceutical options, saw palmetto doesn't override the body's systems. It gently encourages balance. Another powerful ally is stinging nettle root. While the leaves of this plant are often used for allergy relief, the root contains compounds that may help relieve symptoms of prostatitis and benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH. It works by modulating inflammatory pathways and supporting hormonal metabolism. And despite its prickly reputation, when properly prepared, stinging nettle is surprisingly gentle and effective. Then there's turmeric, a golden spice rooted in Indian Ayurvedic medicine. Turmeric's active compound, curcumin, is one of the most studied natural anti-inflammatories in the world. It helps by blocking molecules that trigger inflammation and oxidative stress, two major contributors to chronic prostatitis. But here's an important detail. Curcumin on its own isn't easily absorbed by the body. To unlock its full potential, it needs to be combined with black pepper or a healthy fat, such as olive oil. This increases absorption significantly and ensures it reaches the tissues that need it most. Pumpkin seeds also deserve mention. They're rich in zinc, a mineral crucial for prostate function, and phytosterols, which may help shrink enlarged prostate tissue. Incorporating a handful of these seeds into your daily routine can offer subtle but lasting support. Think of it as nutrition with a purpose, every bite providing targeted benefits. Pygeum africanum, an extract from the bark of the African plum tree, is another lesser-known remedy that shows promise. Traditionally used in African medicine, pygeum contains fatty acids and sterols that help reduce inflammation and improve urinary symptoms associated with an inflamed prostate. Though more common in European supplements, it's gaining traction in the US for its clinically observed benefits. With all these options, it's tempting to try everything at once. But more isn't always better. In fact, combining too many herbs without understanding their interactions or the correct dosages can overwhelm your system or reduce their effectiveness. That's why preparation and timing are key. Let's go deeper into that. For example, when preparing an herbal infusion or tea from saw palmetto berries, slow drying and low heat steeping preserve its active compounds. With turmeric, cooking it briefly in a healthy oil or mixing it with warm milk and black pepper can enhance both absorption and comfort. And when it comes to capsules or tinctures, quality matters. Look for products that are third-party tested, free from fillers, and sourced from reputable suppliers. Another important piece is consistency. Herbal remedies don't act like painkillers. They're not meant for instant relief. Their power lies in cumulative effect, supporting your body over time as it works to rebalance and repair. That means daily use, mindful observation, and patience. Think of it like watering a plant. You won't see the roots growing, but something vital is happening beneath the surface. And don't underestimate the importance of synergy. Some herbs work better when taken together in specific combinations. For instance, a blend of saw palmetto, stinging nettle, and pygeum may provide broader relief than any single herb alone, addressing inflammation, hormone metabolism, and urinary flow in tandem. This is why professionally formulated blends can be so effective. They're designed with these synergies in mind. It's also worth noting that lifestyle still matters. No herb can offset the effects of a highly inflammatory diet or chronic stress. These plants are tools, not miracles. They work best when paired with the foundational habits we've already discussed: hydration, movement, rest, and stress management. When all of these elements come together, they create a strong foundation for healing and long-term balance. I've heard from countless men who, after years of discomfort and trial and error with conventional treatments, finally found relief through these natural paths. Not because they abandoned medicine, but because they complemented it with wisdom drawn from nature and guided by informed choices. The body wants to heal. It's always trying to return to equilibrium. When we support it, gently, consistently, and wisely, it often responds better than we expected. These herbal allies aren't quick fixes, but they are powerful partners in the journey. And now we're approaching one of the most critical moments. There's a common mistake many people make when using these plants. A mistake that can dramatically reduce their impact or even cause unexpected reactions. The next insight I'll share is essential for ensuring that all your efforts don't go to waste. Skipping it could not only prevent you from seeing results, it might also set you back. Let's make sure you don't fall into that trap. It's easy to get excited when you discover natural tools that promise to ease discomfort and restore balance. The possibilities feel empowering. Herbs like saw palmetto, turmeric, and stinging nettle seem to offer hope where there was once frustration. But here's something not everyone tells you. How you use these remedies matters just as much as which ones you choose. In fact, using the right solution the wrong way is one of the most common and most costly mistakes people make on the path to healing. Many people approach natural remedies the way they approach over-the-counter medication. Take a little, wait, and if you don't feel immediate relief, move on. But the body doesn't always respond that way to natural compounds. These aren't drugs designed for instant effects. They're nutrients and plant compounds that work gradually, often in subtle ways, through pathways that are deeply integrated into how the body heals. So, expecting overnight changes can lead to disappointment. Or worse, abandoning something that could have been truly helpful. One of the first mistakes people make is assuming more is better. Doubling the dosage of a capsule, mixing multiple herbs without guidance, or drinking excessive amounts of a healing tea might seem like shortcuts to faster results. But the body doesn't work that way. In fact, overloading your system can tax your liver and kidneys, interfere with absorption, and in some cases, produce the very symptoms you're trying to eliminate. Take turmeric, for example. When used correctly, with a fat source or black pepper, it's one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory agents in the natural world. But when taken in isolation or in excess, it can cause digestive discomfort or interact with medications. Saw palmetto is another good case. It's effective for reducing prostate-related symptoms, but it needs to be taken consistently, in standardized form, and ideally at the same time each day. Skipping doses, switching brands frequently, or taking it only when symptoms flare up dramatically reduces its efficacy. Another common mistake is ignoring the body's rhythm. Certain herbs and remedies work better at specific times of the day. For instance, calming herbs like chamomile or valerian root are best in the evening to support relaxation and recovery, while energizing adaptogens like ashwagandha or ginseng are better suited to morning or midday use. When it comes to prostate support, consistency is more important than timing, but taking supplements with meals can improve absorption and reduce gastrointestinal irritation. Storage and preparation also play an enormous role in effectiveness. Herbal teas and tinctures should be kept in cool, dark places, away from moisture and direct sunlight. Fresh herbs should be consumed quickly or preserved correctly to maintain their potency. For powders and capsules, always check expiration dates and avoid products with unnecessary fillers or additives. Then there's the issue of synergy. We touched on this before, but it's worth emphasizing. Certain herbs work best when paired with others in a balanced formula. But this synergy can be disrupted when people combine herbs haphazardly. It's not uncommon for someone to use a blend of 5 or 6 powerful ingredients, unaware that some compete for absorption or blunt each other's effects. That's why working with a practitioner or using professionally formulated blends can make a substantial difference. But perhaps the biggest mistake of all is forgetting to listen. Natural healing is not a one-way conversation. It requires paying attention, closely, to how your body responds. If a tea causes bloating, that's a signal. If an herb improves your sleep or reduces pelvic tension, that's a clue to what your body needs more of. Keeping a simple journal of what you take, how much, and how you feel each day can uncover patterns and guide smarter decisions. Progress in natural healing isn't always linear. Some days feel better than others. But the overall trajectory should be upward. A steady return to energy, clarity, comfort, and confidence. If you're not seeing any improvement after several weeks, it might be time to reassess. Not necessarily to quit, but to refine. Maybe the dosage needs adjusting. Maybe the form isn't right for your body. Or maybe there's another layer, like unresolved stress or dietary triggers, that needs attention. And here's a powerful truth. Healing is most effective when it's holistic. Herbs, nutrition, movement, rest, and mindset all work together. Ignoring one piece of the puzzle often holds back the entire picture. You can be doing everything right with your supplements, but if your sleep is poor or your stress levels remain high, results will stall. This is why discipline matters. Not perfection, not obsession. Just steady, mindful discipline. Because it's in the day-to-day choices, the quiet moments of consistency, that real change takes root. The more you show up for your body, the more it will show up for you. I've spoken to men who turned their health around not with dramatic changes, but with small, daily acts of care. They learned to prepare their herbal infusions correctly, to eat more mindfully, to move more often, and to respect the process. They didn't chase quick fixes. They invested in lasting health, and that's what makes the difference. You're not just treating symptoms, you're rebuilding balance. And that takes time, attention, and a willingness to learn. But the reward, feeling like yourself again, is worth every step. We're now approaching a crucial turning point. Everything you've learned so far sets the stage for one final essential insight: how to prepare these natural tools the right way in the right combination for the best possible results. This last piece is what ties everything together. If skipped or done incorrectly, all the efforts you've made could lose their power, or even backfire. Let's ensure your next step is your strongest yet. After everything we've covered, understanding the hidden signs of prostatitis, identifying everyday triggers, and exploring nature's remedies, you might be wondering, how do I put it all together? What's the right way to prepare these tools to truly support healing and avoid wasting time, energy, and hope? This is where clarity matters most. Because while the remedies we've discussed are powerful, they require the right approach to unlock their full potential. And that begins with knowing how to prepare, combine, and use them in ways that align with how your body works, not how a supplement label suggests. Let's start with something as simple and overlooked as water. Many people boil herbs too aggressively, destroying delicate compounds that are responsible for their benefits. For most prostate-supportive herbs like saw palmetto or nettle root, a gentle simmer or warm steeping is all you need. Boiling them rapidly can degrade volatile oils and enzymes. Instead, place the herbs in warm, not boiling water. Cover them, and let them steep for 15 to 30 minutes. This allows their active ingredients to infuse without damage. If you're using turmeric, don't just sprinkle it into a smoothie and hope for the best. Combine it with a healthy fat, like coconut oil, ghee, or olive oil, and always add a pinch of black pepper. This combination increases curcumin's absorption by up to 2,000%. You can stir this trio into warm almond milk or a soup, creating a therapeutic tonic that's not only effective but comforting. When it comes to capsules or tinctures, the key is consistency and quality. Look for standardized extracts. These ensure that each dose contains a specific amount of the active compound. For saw palmetto, for example, standardized doses often include around 85–95% fatty acids and sterols. These are the components that provide the real therapeutic value. Now let's talk about synergy. Some ingredients enhance each other when taken together. A good example is combining pumpkin seed extract with zinc and nettle root. Together, they offer anti-inflammatory action, hormone support, and improved urinary flow. These combinations are often found in high-quality formulas, but they can also be created at home with the right ingredients and proportions. That said, never underestimate the importance of dosage. Just because something is natural doesn't mean it's harmless in any quantity. Following established dosage ranges, using proper measuring tools, and sticking to a regular schedule can make all the difference. Herbal protocols are most effective when used daily, over weeks or months, not just when symptoms flare up. Timing also plays a subtle but important role. For example, taking anti-inflammatory herbs after a meal helps reduce the chance of stomach upset and improves absorption. Prostate-supportive formulas are typically best taken in the morning and evening, allowing for more stable blood levels of their active compounds. And then there's preparation of the body itself. Even the best herbal solution won't reach its full potential in a body overloaded with processed foods, dehydration, or chronic stress. Think of your body as fertile soil. If it's dry, compacted, or filled with weeds, seeds won't grow. But if it's nourished, hydrated, and calm, healing can take root. That's why these remedies should never be isolated from a foundation of good habits: clean eating, regular movement, deep rest, and emotional balance. Here's where it all comes together. Let me share with you a preparation that many have found transformative. Take a teaspoon of turmeric powder, a pinch of black pepper, and half a teaspoon of cold-pressed coconut oil. Mix it into a cup of warm, not boiling almond milk. Drink this in the evening, ideally an hour before bed. This blend supports inflammation reduction, hormone regulation, and restorative sleep, all vital for prostate healing. In the morning, begin your day with a glass of filtered water with a few drops of nettle tincture and a sprinkle of lemon juice. Follow it with a light breakfast rich in fiber and healthy fats, like oatmeal with pumpkin seeds and chia. If you use supplements, take your saw palmetto and zinc at this time. Throughout the day, stay hydrated. Choose herbal teas like chamomile or green tea, and avoid sugary drinks that spike inflammation. Move every hour. Even standing up and stretching helps improve circulation to the pelvic area. And at least once a day, take 5 minutes to simply breathe. Slowly, deeply. This calms your nervous system, lowers stress hormones, and creates the internal environment needed for recovery. It's not just about ingredients. It's about intention, method, and rhythm. Healing doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's the product of many small actions done with care, day after day. And the truth is, you're capable of this. You've already shown up for yourself by learning, listening, and exploring. I want to leave you with this. Knowledge is a form of power, but action is where transformation happens. You now hold both. You've learned what prostatitis is, how it hides, how it harms, and how it can be addressed naturally. You've seen how lifestyle and nature can join forces to bring the body back to balance. And most importantly, you've learned how to do it the right way. Don't stop here. Share what you've discovered. Talk to someone who might need this. Support your loved ones in their own journeys. And continue showing up for yourself, because healing isn't a destination. It's a way of living. If this journey inspired you, if it brought clarity or comfort or motivation, I invite you to stay connected. Like, share, and subscribe. Not just for updates, but to become part of a community that believes in informed, natural health. Together, we can bring light to topics that deserve more attention, and more importantly, more compassion. Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live.